Hello friends and clients of Walker Gates Vela. I am Jennifer Walker Gates, coming to you from the beautiful Monteverde, Costa Rica, where they have been celebrating 200 years of independence during this past week. Independence from the Spanish Crown, who were the original colonizers of this area. And we are also in the United States celebrating Latin Heritage Month. We are doing that to honor our neighbors to the south on the southern part of the American continent. And we are super grateful in the United States to have had the influence of the Latin cultures, Latino, Latina, Latinx cultures in the United States. So shout out to all of our Latin peeps and congratulations. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. And thank you for coming to the United States. Now, before I get into the substance of today's video, which is naturalization, I would like you to please hit subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are publishing these updates about all kinds of important immigration policies at least weekly, if not more frequently than that. So please do hit subscribe to our channel, get notified when we publish a new one so that you don't miss any important updates. So, in this video, I want to talk about naturalization. It is Citizenship and Constitution Week in the United States. Now, this is something that USCIS observes, and it really depends on the administration, but right now, under the Biden administration, USCIS is really promoting Citizenship Week, promoting naturalization as a whole. They have published a document called the Interagency Strategy for Promoting Naturalization, and they are really taking this head on. They are reaching out to the 9 million lawful permanent residents living in the United States who are currently eligible for naturalization. Those are their statistics. And I want to also reach out to anyone who, whether you're a lawful permanent resident already, or you're just beginning your immigration journey and you will become eligible for citizenship at some point in the future, I just want to touch on some of the reasons that it is so important to consider becoming a naturalized citizen if you are eligible to do so. Some of the reasons for becoming a naturalized citizen are that it's good for the United States and it's also good for the immigrant. So I'm going to touch on a couple of the reasons why that it's good for both. Okay, for the United States, it is in our interest for everyone who is living in our country to participate in the political process. This is what is going to help our democracy survive long term. And truly, if we lose that, if we lose the democratic process in the United States, it will not be the same country. The freedoms that we enjoy there, the ability to be creative, to express ourselves, to be safe, all of those things come from having a healthy democracy. In the places where democracy has already eroded and broken down, we see more violence, we see more crime, we see less freedom, we see more political polarization and conflict. And so it really is great for the United States, for everyone who lives there, to participate in the political process. And in order to do that most effectively and most completely, you need to be a naturalized citizen. The reason it's not just good for the U.S., but also good for the individual is there are many reasons, actually. One of the main reasons we see with our clients is that the process of traveling outside the United States and then back in becomes so much easier and smoother once you have become a naturalized U.S. citizen. If you are a lawful permanent resident traveling abroad, you have to use the passport that came from your original home country in order to get access to those other countries. Your lawful permanent resident card typically doesn't grant you access to other countries. So traveling on an American passport may open up opportunities to travel to countries that with your original passport would be more difficult to access, might require a visa to access, or might not allow you in at all. So having a U.S. passport can facilitate additional travel to certain countries. Now, there are obvious exceptions. Some countries don't want U.S. citizens to come visit, and some U.S. citizens are not allowed to visit certain countries. So it's not 100% across the board, but In many instances, having a U.S. passport does facilitate travel out of the United States. Certainly, coming back into the United States is much, much easier once you've become a naturalized U.S. citizen. You don't have to worry as a U.S. citizen about maintaining your status in the United States. Once you become a naturalized U.S. citizen, your status does not expire. If you're a lawful permanent resident, you have to renew your card every 10 years. And if you leave, you have to make sure that you have maintained ties in the United States, that you don't stay out so long that your status will be considered abandoned. If you're going to be out longer than a certain amount of time, you have to get permission. And then when you come back, you have to prove that you didn't abandon your resident status. None of that is true if you have a passport, if you are a naturalized citizen. You can travel outside the United States. You can stay out for 50 years if you want and have no ties left in the United States. But when you're ready to come back, so long as your passport is renewed and valid at that time, you will be welcomed back as a full-fledged U.S. citizen. So it is not as restrictive in terms of where you can travel, for how long, and what you can do outside the United States as it is when you are a lawful permanent resident. In addition, as an immigration attorney, I often joke that I'm paid to worry. I'm a professional worrier, and I do worry for my clients who are lawful permanent residents. That the law, about what could happen in the future with respect to the law, and what could happen to the status of lawful permanent residency. I don't see signals that lawful permanent residency is going away right now. However, I have seen many individuals in the United States wrongly convicted, for example, in our justice system. And those people, some of them are immigrants. And if you are an immigrant and lawful permanent resident and you are convicted of certain crimes, you can and will be deported. If you are a naturalized citizen, deportation comes off the table for you. So you can certainly still be convicted of crimes as a naturalized citizen. However, deportation is not going to be one of the consequences that may befall you and your family if you're convicted of a crime after you've become naturalized. The only time that there is an exception to that is if an individual is determined to have committed fraud in the process of becoming a U.S. citizen. For example, we've seen cases where people who are involved in drug conspiracies that haven't been busted yet go through the naturalization process, and while they're naturalizing, lie on their form saying that they've not committed crimes, even ones for which they haven't been arrested, and then they get naturalized and then they get busted. And if that happens, if it is determined by an immigration judge that you lied in the process of becoming a naturalized citizen, they can strip your naturalization from you. A federal judge can often strip your naturalization from you. Denaturalization is a real thing, and they can take that away and deport you. However, that is extremely rare. The vast majority of immigrants to the United States are law-abiding people who want to participate in our country, in our economy, in our culture, and we benefit from that. So it is important to consider, if you want to be a U.S. citizen, if you are thinking about it, get your case analyzed. Have an attorney that you trust take a look and let you know whether you're eligible or not. A number of our clients have waited to apply for naturalization because they thought their English wasn't strong enough. If you are able to understand what I'm saying right now, your English is fine to become a naturalized citizen. Many officers at USCIS who adjudicate naturalization cases are themselves naturalized citizens. They do not have perfect English. They may speak with a very heavy accent. Accents do not count against you. It is so important to remember that. I do not speak English perfectly, and perfect English is not required to become a naturalized citizen. You need to be able to participate in what's called ordinary usage and conversation, meaning you need to be able to have a basic understanding of what the application says. You need to be able to understand the questions that are being asked and respond to them. You need to be able to speak clearly, but you don't have to express yourself perfectly. You can miss words. You can have a very strong accent. All of that is fine. and you still can qualify for naturalization. In addition, we've had a number of people come to us who actually were eligible for naturalization but didn't think they were because of a past minor crime or issue in their record. If you have something like that, it is very important to get it analyzed, because sometimes a criminal conviction may have kind of slipped past ICE, and an individual who applies for naturalization can really red flag their file, and ICE will take a look at it. We have seen people be placed in deportation proceedings as the result of filing a naturalization application when they had a past criminal conviction that they didn't get analyzed. So if you do have any criminal history, it's important to have a meeting with a trusted attorney and make sure that filing the application is safe. But at the same time, don't assume that just because you had some little something, a flaw, a mistake, an error in your past, that is forever going to prevent you from becoming a citizen. Just really important to take a look at that. And if you're interested at all in becoming a citizen, have it analyzed. Gain an understanding of whether that really prevents you from naturalizing or not, because in many cases there is a way to work it out and go ahead and apply. Again, the processing times are way down because this administration is committed to getting as many people naturalized as possible. It is a part of our functioning and healthy democracy to have people who are living in the United States fully participating in our political processes. So for that reason, this administration is really reaching out, really committed to bringing people on board. We're seeing people get naturalized on the same day that they have their interviews in many instances. So USCIS has really stepped up their game in terms of speeding up the processing times and getting cases finalized and getting people sworn into citizenship efficiently, effectively, and quickly. So if we can help you in any way, shape, or form with your application for naturalization, please reach out to us. We can be found on our website at walkergatesvela.com. There you can click to call us, or you can simply click to schedule a consultation with me or any of our attorneys at the office. We have 5 attorneys. All of us are qualified to answer questions about your citizenship status, eligibility, and application. We have a lot of experience helping individuals get through that process. We are so proud. It's our favorite kind of case because it really represents the full blossoming of the immigrant journey. And we are so grateful to everyone who has chosen the United States as their home. Please reach out to us. Stay well, stay safe, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss us next week. With that, we'll talk to you soon.